Hi guys, it's Marty here from letsbuildwp.com, and in this video I'm going to show you how to make a professional WordPress website step by step in 2019. See, I've personally been using WordPress for over 7 years now, and I decided to make this WordPress tutorial for beginners to show you everything you'll need to know in order to build a website you can be proud of. You don't need to have any previous design skills, we won't be using any coding, and it's only going to take us about 45 minutes to complete. So if you need a website for an online business you're starting, or maybe you just want to build a website for fun, this is how you do it. I'm going to walk you through the entire process, step by step, and in a way that anyone should be able to understand. So even if you've only ever used your computer for sending emails and watching random cat videos, you should still have no problems building this website. But rather than just talking about it, let's take a look at the actual website we'll be building. So I'm going to show you how to add a logo and a header image here at the top, and how to change our site colors. Then we'll also cover how to create different pages which we'll add to our menu. And these pages will have text, images, and anything else we might need. We'll also be adding a form to our contact page as well, so our visitors can send us a message if they need to. Then the website we're building is also going to have a blog, where our posts will have these awesome featured images, and when we click into them, we'll have our text, images, and any other content we add. And then here at the bottom, we'll also have a comments section, where our visitors can leave us a reply. Then we'll also be covering how to change the WordPress sidebar, which is this part that runs down the right hand side of our pages. And we can add things like images, text, and lists of our recent blog posts. This website's also going to be 100% mobile friendly, which means it's going to look amazing on any device. So if I just make this window a little smaller, we can see what our website will look like on a tablet. Then if we make it a little smaller again, this is what our website's going to look like when being viewed on a mobile phone. So no matter what device it's being viewed on, it's always going to look great. Now, you're probably not going to be building a website about coffee like my example site, but don't worry, this is going to work for almost any kind of business or website you might need. So here's the same website with different images and branding to give you an idea of what I mean. And as you can see, the website's pretty much always going to look great. So if you're ready to get started, this is how to make a professional WordPress website step by step in 2019. Okay, so in the intro to this video I said that you won't need any previous design skills and that we won't be using any coding to build our website. And that's because we're going to be using WordPress.org. This is the same platform used by companies like Forbes, CNN, and Sony, just to name a few. And not only that, but WordPress is also super easy to use. In fact, there are only 5 main steps we'll need to follow in order to build a professional website with WordPress. So the first thing we need to do is set up a web hosting account for our site. And this is basically where the different files that make up our website will be stored online, so people can gain access to our site even when our own computer's switched off. Web hosting is something we will require in order to run a website, and it'll usually cost us around $8 to $12 a month. But later on I'm going to show you a way to get your first month web hosting for only 1 penny. Then the next thing we need to do is register a domain name for our website. A domain name is basically the title of our website with www before it and .com after it. And it's what we type into our internet browser to visit a specific website. So for example, Google's domain name is www.google.com. Once again, a domain name is something we will require in order to run a website and will usually cost us around $13 a year. So we pay for our web hosting once a month, and then we pay for our domain name once a year. Then once we have our domain name and web hosting, we can move on to the next step, which is installing WordPress. This will only take about 60 seconds or so for us to do, and as WordPress is open source software, it's also 100% free for us to use. Then once we've installed WordPress, we're going to move on to the fourth step, which is choosing and customizing a WordPress theme. This is going to change the entire look of our WordPress site and make it more like the website we're trying to build. And then the last thing we need to do is add our different content, which will basically be the main pages that make up our website. So that could be things like an about page and a contact page. Now we'll also cover a few other bits and pieces as well as we go along, but these really are the 5 main steps we need to follow in order to build a professional WordPress website. So as we can see, the first things we need to do are set up web hosting and get a domain name for our website. And lucky for us, we can get both of these from the same place, which is a website called HostGator.com. And this is a company I've been using for years now without any problems. They're a great low-cost hosting company, which is exactly what we want, and they're also who I currently use to host letsbuildwp.com. So if you're going to take my recommendation, we just need to open up our internet browser and go to HostGator.com. Then if we click web hosting at the top, this is going to show us the 3 different hosting plans they offer. If you're only planning to build one website like I am, we can go for the hatchling plan, or if you're going to be building more than one website, go for the baby plan. Now, the business plan is an option, but to be totally honest with you, it comes with a whole load of added extras we probably won't need when just getting started. So really it's between the hatchling plan and the baby plan. Then once we've decided on which plan we're going to go for, we can just click Buy Now underneath. That's going to bring us to this page where we're going to enter whatever we'd like to use as our domain name into this box, and then choose our domain extension on the right. So for this example, I'm going to type 𝗗𝗎𝗦𝗧𝗢𝗥, and then choose .com as my domain extension. Then underneath we'll see it says Domain Privacy Protection, and this is a 100% optional add-on. I normally just uncheck this box myself and haven't had any problems to date, but if you want to keep the box checked you can, and it'll be added to your bill. Then underneath it says Choose a Hosting Plan, and here we just want to double check that our package type is correct and choose a billing cycle. At the start I chose the hatchling plan, so this is correct. And then here we can choose how often we'd like to pay for our hosting. We can pay for it every month, every 6 months, or we can even pay for it every 3 years if we like. Now we do save a bit more money the longer we buy at one time, so that might be something to think about. But as I'm just doing this for the tutorial, I'm going to set mine to monthly. Although if this was a real website I was building and not just for the tutorial, I'd probably set it to at least 6 months to benefit from the discount. Then underneath we just need to create a username and security pin for use with our HostGator account. Then under this we can enter our personal billing information. So that's things like our name, our email address and things like that. And on the right hand side we can choose how we'd like to pay for our order, and we can choose either credit or debit card or PayPal. Then under this we'll see it says Add Additional Services, and these are just a few paid add-ons that HostGator offer. If you're lucky, they're still going to be running this offer where we get a free SSL certificate, which is pretty awesome. But for the rest of these, I normally just uncheck these boxes myself, but you can have a read through them, and if you like the look of any of them, just check the box and they'll be added to your bill. Then underneath it says Enter a coupon code, and I have a coupon to share with you guys that'll get us our first month web hosting for only 1 penny. So there might already be a coupon entered in here worth 20 or 25% off our order, but instead of using this coupon, we're just going to delete it and instead enter WP Building. All one word, WP Building. Then when we click the validate button, we'll see that we're now getting our first month web hosting for only 1 penny. Also be sure to note the 45-day money-back guarantee and the 24/7 phone, live chat and email support, which can be extremely helpful if we get stuck. Now, I do just want to mention that as well as you getting an amazing price on your hosting, I'll also be paid a small commission if you use this coupon. I then plan to use any money made to support my YouTube channel so I can continue to make tutorials like this one available for free. So not only will you get a discount, but you'll also help to fund my free tutorials, and for this I thank you. But just so we're clear, I do actually use HostGator for all of my own websites and blogs, and I personally think they're a great host. But anyway, let's get back to the tutorial. So once we're happy with everything here, we just need to scroll down to the bottom, check this box to agree to the terms of service, and then click the Checkout Now button. So I'm just going to quickly pause this video while I fill out my personal information above, and then I'll restart the video once I've done that. So if you're following along at home, you can just pause this video until you've finished paying for your order, and then come back and hit play, and we'll carry on building our website together. Okay, so that's me now back, and when I finished paying for my order, it brought me to a thank you page, and then redirected me to the home page. So if you're following along at home, at this point we just want to open up our email inbox in a new tab, and here we should find a few new emails from HostGator. These are pretty important emails, so we need to keep them safe, but for now we just want to click into the one labelled Your Account Info. In this email we'll have a link to our control panel, our username and password for logging in, and some other pretty important information. So now we just need to click the link to our control panel, which is going to open up our cPanel login screen in a new tab, and then we're just going to copy and paste our username and password from this email into the cPanel login screen. Then we just need to click Login, and this is us going to be logging into the HostGator cPanel. Now this might seem a little overwhelming at first, but it's actually pretty easy. All we need to do is scroll down to where it says Software, and then click Quick Install. Then if we click one-click installs on the left and select WordPress in the middle, that's going to bring us to this page, and here we just need to select our new domain name from this drop-down list, and then click Next. And on this page we're just going to enter some basic information for our new WordPress website. So for blog title, this is just going to be the name of our website, and for me I'm going to type my new website. Although don't worry too much about the name for now, as we can always change it again later. Then admin user is going to be the username for logging into our site, and it's also going to be visible on a few of our pages as well. Then we just need to enter our first name, our last name, and our email address. Then underneath we just need to check this box to agree to the terms of service, and then click Install. HostGator's then going to install WordPress for us automatically in a matter of seconds, and once it's finished we'll be given a link to our site, our username, and a randomly generated password for logging in. So at this point we just want to right click the login button and click Open Link in New Tab. This is then going to open up our WordPress login screen in a new tab. Although don't be alarmed if you're just shown a blank white screen or some kind of advert, as sometimes it can take a few minutes for everything to be ready. So if this happens to you, just take a quick break and then try again soon. But once we see the login screen, we just want to copy and paste our username and password from this screen into the login screen. Then when we click Login, this is us going to be logging into what's known as the WordPress dashboard, which is where we can add any content or make any changes to our new website, which by the way is now live online. All we need to do to visit our website is click our site title in the top left, and that's going to show us what WordPress looks like when we first install it. Now yours might look a little different, as sometimes they change up the default theme, but either way we're just going to see some demo content and not much else. This is already looking pretty amazing, but we're going to be building something much better than this. But just quickly before that, if you're following along at home and you've managed to get WordPress installed without any problems, please give the video a like to show your support. I'd really appreciate it if you do, but even if you don't, I'm still super pumped that you've made it this far in the video. But anyway, let's get back to building our website. Now that we have WordPress installed, the first thing we're going to do is delete all of the demo content before we start adding our own. To do this, we just need to go back to our dashboard by clicking our site title at the top. And then if we click Pages in our left dashboard menu, this is going to show us any pages we have on our site, which at the moment is just this demo page. To delete it, we just need to hover our mouse over the page title and then click Trash. Now we're basically going to do the same thing for our demo blog post, only instead of clicking Pages on the left, we're going to click Posts. Then we can hover over the post title and click Trash to delete it. And then finally we're going to uninstall a few demo plugins as well. And to do this we can click Plugins on the left, and this is going to show us any plugins we have installed. Plugins are basically like extensions or add-ons for WordPress that'll let us add extra functionality to our website that WordPress doesn't come with by default. So for example, this would be things like contact forms and social share buttons. We're going to come back and cover how to use plugins later on in this video, but for now we're just going to remove the ones that came pre-installed. So to do this, we simply check the box at the top to select all of the plugins in the list. Then we can select Deactivate using this drop-down menu and click Apply. Then once these plugins have been deactivated, we're going to delete them in basically the same way. So we just need to check the box at the top again, and then instead of choosing Deactivate, we're going to choose Delete from this drop-down list, and then click Apply. WordPress is then going to delete all of the plugins from our site, and it usually only takes a couple of seconds. And now that we've deleted the demo content and removed all of the plugins, if we visit our site by clicking our site title at the top, we'll see that it's now completely empty and ready for us to start customizing. Then the next thing we're going to do is change our WordPress theme, and this is going to change the entire look of our site and make it more like the custom website we're trying to build. So to do this, we're going to go back to our dashboard by clicking our site title in the top left. And then if we click Appearance on the left, this is going to show us all of the different themes that WordPress comes with pre-installed. So as we can see, I currently have the 2019 theme active in this example, as it's the one that says active underneath it. Then we can change to one of these other themes as well if we like, by hovering our mouse over the theme and clicking Activate. But rather than doing that, we're going to install a new theme by clicking Add New at the top. This is then going to show us the thousands of different free themes that WordPress have to offer, and we can filter through these themes at the top by featured, popular, and latest. Or if we already know the name of a specific theme we're wanting to install, we can type it into the search bar in the top right. In this example, I'm going to be installing a theme called Primer, which is an awesome theme that'll work for most types of websites. And it's also the one we saw at the start of this video. Now, you can obviously choose a different theme if you like, and the steps will pretty much be the same, but if you're unsure of what theme to use, I recommend this one. Plus, one of the awesome things about WordPress is that we can change our theme at any time without affecting our content. So if we choose this theme for now, and then it turns out we don't like it, we just need to install a new one. But for now, we're going to type the word Primer into the search bar in the top right. And then when it shows up, we just need to click Install. WordPress is then going to unpack and install the theme for us right away. And once it's done, we can click Activate. And now if we click our site title in the top left to visit our site, we'll see that our theme has been updated and our website's now looking much better. Then once we're happy with the theme we've installed, we can start to customize it. And to do this, we simply need to click where it says Customize at the top. This is going to open up our theme options on the left, and we'll see a live preview of our website on the right. Then if we click into the first option on the left labeled Site Identity, we can change our site title and tagline by changing the text that appears in these two boxes. So for this example, if I change my site title to say Coffee Time on the left, we'll see that it updates right away in the preview on the right. Then we can do the same thing for our tagline, which is the line of text that appears underneath our site title. So I'm just going to quickly type something in here on the left, and once again when we do this, we'll see it updates on the right. Then if we have a logo image we'd like to use instead, we can click Select Logo at the top, and then click Upload Files in the middle. Now we're just going to search for the image on our computer, and when we find the image we'd like to use, we just need to click on it, and then click Open to upload it to our website. Once the image has been uploaded, we can click Select in the bottom right, and then crop our image if we need to, or click Skip Cropping. When we do this, we'll see that our logo now appears in the preview on the right instead of our site title and tagline. Then here on the left, we can also change our footer copyright text, which is this text that appears at the bottom of our website. So I'm just going to change this to say Coffee Time instead of My New Website on the left. And when I do, we'll see it updates in the preview on the right. Then we can also uncheck this box on the left that says Display Theme Author Credit, and that's going to remove the link to GoDaddy from the bottom. Then the last option here on the left is where we can add a site icon, which is the little icon that appears beside our site title in our internet browser. So we just need to click Select Image on the left, then we can click Upload Files at the top, select Files in the middle, and then we're going to search for the image on our computer. When we find it, we just need to click on it and then click Open. Then once our image has been uploaded, we can click Select in the bottom right, and then either crop the image if we need to, or click Skip Cropping. And when we do this, we'll see that our site icon now appears beside our site title in our internet browser. Then once we're happy with everything here, we can click Publish up at the top to save our changes, and then click the back pointing arrow in the top left to go back to the list of theme options. Now we're just going to click into the next option, which is Layout, and here we can change the layout of our website to be either fixed or fluid. And this is basically just referring to the margins of our site. So if we change this to fluid on the left, we can see that the layout only really changes slightly on the right. Personally, I'm just going to put it back to fixed, but if you change it, just remember to click Publish at the top to save your changes, and then we can click the back pointing arrow at the top to go back. Now we can click into the next option, which is Colors, and here we can change the different colors of our website. So first, if we click into Color Schemes, we can choose a main color scheme using this drop-down list. And when we do this, we'll see that the colors update on the right. Personally, I think the default color scheme looks best with the color of my logo, so I'm going to keep it as default. Then once we choose a color scheme, we can click the back pointing arrow, and then we can change each of the individual colors by clicking into these different sections. So if we click into Header, for example, we can change the color of our site title and tagline if we're not using a logo, and then we can also change our header background color as well. So to do this, we simply click Select Color, and then choose the color we're wanting to use. And as we can see, when we're choosing our color, it updates in real time on the right. Then if we want to go back to the original color, we just need to click the Default button. Once we're happy with these colors, we can click the back pointing arrow in the top left to go back, and then we can use the same steps to change the colors of our menus, buttons, and things like that. And I'm just going to do this in fast forward to save time. Then once we're happy with our site's colors, we just need to click Publish at the top to save our changes, and then click the back pointing arrow to go back. And now we're going to click into the next section, which is Fonts. So here we can change the fonts for things like our site title and tagline, our menus, text headings, and things like that. And all we need to do is choose the fonts we'd like to use for each of them using these drop-down menus. So I'm just going to quickly change all of mine to cabin font in this example, but obviously you can spend a little more time and experiment with the full list of fonts. Then once we're happy with our new fonts, we can click Publish at the top to save our changes, and then click the back pointing arrow to go back. And now we're going to click into the next section, which is Header Media, and this is where we can add a header image to our website. Now there is an option to add a header video if we like, but most of the time this won't really make sense and can sometimes result in our site loading kinda slowly. But if you want to have a video header, you can just paste a YouTube video URL into this box and WordPress will do it for you automatically. Or if we scroll down, we can upload a header image instead. All we need to do is click Add New Image and then upload it in the same way as our other images. To save some time in this video, there's a default image they have here to show us what it'll look like, and I'm just going to use this one. So when I click on it, we can see that it updates on the right, and now shows the new image as our website's header. And if we want to remove it again, we just need to click Hide Image. Then once we're done here, we're just going to uncheck this box at the top that says Use Featured Image. Then we can click Publish at the top to save our changes, and click the back pointing arrow to go back. Now the next option is Background Image, and I'm just going to skip this myself. But if you want the upload one, you can. We just need to click Select Image, and then we can upload the image in the same way as before. Just remember to click Publish at the top if you change anything, and then we can go back to the main list of options. Now if we click into Menus on the left, this is where we can create the main pages we're wanting to add to our website, as well as arrange our navigation menu. So first we just need to click Create Menu on the left, and then here we can give our menu a name. The name's just for our own reference and isn't going to show up anywhere, and for this I'm just going to call mine Main Menu. Then we can choose Primary Menu and click Next. Now we can click where it says Add Items, and then we just want to make sure that Pages is selected on the right. Then we're just going to type the names for any pages we're wanting to add, and then click the Add button. WordPress will then create the pages for us and add them to our menu. So for this example, I'm going to add a home page called Home, a contact page called Contact, a blog page called Blog, and an About page called About Us. Now you can obviously choose to add different pages or call them something different, but I would at least recommend adding a home page and a blog page. Then once we've added any pages we want, we can click Reorder on the left and then change the order of our menu if we need to. So if I move my contact page to the bottom, we'll see that it now appears on the right hand side of my menu. So anything we put at the top of this list is going to appear on the left side of our menu, and then anything we put at the bottom of the list is going to appear on the right. Then once we're happy with the order of our menu, we can click Done. And now we just need to click Publish at the top to save our changes, and then click the back pointing arrow to go back. Now at this point we can click on our different pages in the preview on the right, and we'll see that they've been created, but they're still empty. We're going to be covering how to add content to these pages soon, but for now we're just going to click into the next option here on the left, which is Widgets. Then if we click into Sidebar, this is where we can change what appears down the right hand side of our site. So as we can see here on the left, it says Search, Recent Posts, Recent Comments, Archives, Categories, and Meta. And then if we look on our sidebar on the right, we can see that these match up. So first we can start by removing any widgets we don't want, And in this example, I'm going to remove everything apart from the search bar and the list of recent posts. And to delete a widget, we simply need to click on it on the left and then click Remove. Then, once we've got rid of any widgets we don't want, we can start to add new ones by clicking Add a Widget. So say for this example we wanted to add an image to our sidebar, we just need to find and click on the image widget in this list. Then we can give it a title if we like, and then click the Add Image button. Then just like always, we're going to click Upload Files at the top, select Files in the middle, and then we're going to search for the image on our computer. Then when we find it, we can just click on it and click Open to upload it. Once our image has been uploaded, we can choose what size we want it to be using this drop-down menu in the bottom right, and then we can click Add to Widget. And when we do this, we'll see our image now appears in the sidebar on the right. Then, say for another example, we wanted to add some text to our sidebar, we just need to click Add a Widget, and then choose the text widget from this list. Now on the left we can give it a title, and then type any text we're wanting to appear into this box, or we can just paste it in like I'm going to do. Then once we're done, we'll see that our text now appears in our sidebar on the right underneath our image. Now you can feel free to add more widgets if you like, but these are the main ones I think you'll need when just getting started. Then once we've added any widgets we're wanting in our sidebar, we can click here on the left where it says Reorder, and then we can change the order of our widgets in the same way as we did with our menu. Then once we're happy with the order of everything, we just need to click Done, and then we can click Publish at the top to save our changes. Then we're just going to click the back pointing arrow in the top left, then click it again to get back to the main options, and now we can click into the next section, which is Home Page Settings. So by default, WordPress is set up as a blog, and it's set to show our blog posts on the home page. But to change this, we just need to select a static page here on the left, and then under Home Page we're going to select our page called Home, and under Posts page we're going to select our page called Blog. When we do this, it's going to update in real time on the right, and we'll see that our home page is now our static page, and if we click on our blog page in the menu, it should say Nothing Found, and this is where our blog posts will appear once we start adding them. Then once we're done here, we can click Publish up at the top to save our changes, and then click the back pointing arrow to go back. Now there's one last option here at the bottom called Additional CSS, but we're just going to skip over it, as this would only be if we were wanting to make changes to our website's CSS files, and we don't. So that means we're now finished customizing our theme, and as long as we've saved our changes, we just need to click the X in the top left to close out of these options. That's going to bring us to our site, and here we're going to see that all of the changes we made are now live. So as we can see, we have our logo at the top if we added one, and our header image as well. Our site's colors have been changed, and our sidebar is looking awesome. Then we also have our menu at the top with our different pages we created. And now the next thing we're going to do is add some content to these pages. So to do this, we just need to visit the page we're wanting to edit, and for me that's going to be my home page. Then we can click Edit in the grey bar running along the top to open up the main page editor. Then here we can change the title if we like at the top, and then we can just start typing any text we want on our page into this box underneath. And to save some time in this tutorial, I'm just going to paste in some text I already have copied. Then if we have any subheadings in our text like I do here, we can simply click into the line of text, and then click this symbol on the left that looks like a backwards P. Now we can choose Heading, and then choose from one of the available heading sizes on the right. And when we do this, we'll see that our text changes size in the editor. And then I'm just going to do the same thing for my second heading underneath. Then we can also add images to our pages as well. And to do this, we just need to take a new line wherever we're wanting the image to appear. And then we can click the plus sign to the left. Then here we're going to choose Image, click Upload Files in the middle, and then search for the image on our computer. When we find it, we just need to click on it and click Open to upload it. And when we do this, we'll see that our image now appears in the editor. Then if at any point we want to see how our page is looking so far, we can click where it says Preview on the right hand side, and that's going to open up a live preview in a new tab. Now I'm just doing this all pretty quickly to show you how it's done, so your pages will probably look a lot better than mine. Then once we're happy with our page, we can close the preview, and then we just need to click Update on the right to publish it. Now we can click Visit Page at the top, and we'll see that our changes are now live. And now that we know how it's done, we just need to do the same for our other pages. So for me, that's my About page, and I'm just going to add an image, some text, and a few subheadings. Then I also have my contact page as well, and for this I'm going to add an image and some text for now, and then we're going to come back and add a contact form soon. And then finally we have our blog page. We're going to be adding some blog posts here in a second, but just quickly before that we're going to change what are known as our site's permalinks. And just to explain what these are, if we visit one of our pages, and look at the domain name at the top, we'll see that after our domain name there's a / and then a few random letters and numbers. And these letters and numbers are the page's permalink. But rather than these random letters and numbers, we're going to change it so it shows the page name instead. So to do this, we simply need to head back over to our dashboard by clicking our site title at the top. Then we can hover over Settings on the left and click Permalinks. Now we're just going to choose Post Name, and then we can scroll down to the bottom and click Save Changes. Then once it's been updated, we can visit our site and click into one of our pages, and we'll see that our permalinks have been updated at the top, and they're now showing the page names instead of the random letters and numbers. And now that we have our permalinks changed, we can start adding a few blog posts to our website. So to add a blog post on WordPress, we simply need to click our site title at the top to go back to our dashboard. And then we can hover over where it says Posts on the left and click Add New. This is then going to open up the post editor, which is basically the same as when adding pages. So we can give our post a title at the top, and I'm going to call mine How to Make a Great Cup of Coffee at Home. Then we can add any text we like by typing it into the box underneath, or we can paste it in if we've already got it typed up. Then we can add any subheadings we have in our post. And then finally we can also add images in the same way as well. So up until now, this has been exactly the same as when adding pages, but this is where it starts to get a little different. So if we look on the right hand side, we can see it says categories and tags, and these are what we can use to help organize our different posts. So to add our post to a new category, we simply need to click Add New Category, type what we want to use into this box, and then click the Add Category button. Or if we're going to use a category we've already created, we'll be able to choose it here. So for this example, as my blog post is about making a cup of coffee, I'm going to create a new category called Coffee. Then once we've added our category, we can do the same thing for our tags underneath. So for this post, I'm going to add coffee tutorial, how to make coffee, and homebrew coffee. Then once we've added our categories and tags, we'll also see underneath it says add a featured image, and this is the image that's going to appear in our list of posts on our blog page, as well as at the top of the blog post itself. Now, the featured image is totally optional, but I definitely recommend adding one when possible. Then to add it, we simply need to click Set Featured Image, and then like always, we're going to click Upload Files at the top, select Files in the middle, and then search for the image on our computer. When we find the image, we can click on it and click Open. And then once it's been uploaded, we just need to click Set Featured Image in the bottom right. And when we do this, we'll see the image now appears in the editor. And that's basically everything there is to creating blog posts on WordPress. Once we're done adding our content, we just need to click the Publish button on the right for our post to go live. And then once it's been published, we can click View Post at the top to see it. So as we can see, we've got our featured image at the top, then we have our post title, the publish date, and the post author underneath. Then if we scroll down, we've got our main content like our text, images, and anything else we added. Here at the bottom we can see the category and any tags we added to our post. And then finally we have our comments section where our visitors can leave a reply or ask follow-up questions. And at this point, if we click on our blog page in the menu, we'll see that our blog post now appears here, along with our featured image and a button that says Continue Reading. Then we can also see our post appears in our sidebar as well, under our list of recent posts. And now that we know how it's done, we can just repeat the process for any new posts we want. And now that we've added some blog posts, the last thing we're going to do is add a contact form to our website. This way our visitors can get in contact with us if they need to. Now, WordPress doesn't come with an option to add contact forms by default, so instead we're going to install a free plugin that'll allow us to add them. So to do this, we just need to click our site title at the top to visit our dashboard, and then we can hover over where it says Plugins on the left and click Add New. Now we're just going to type the words contact form into the search bar in the top right, and then install this plugin by WP Forms. And then once the plugin's been installed, we just need to click Activate. Now, one of the awesome things about the WP Forms plugin is that it comes with a form already created for us. And to add this form, we just need to hover over where it now says WP Forms in our left dashboard menu, and then click Add New. Then here at the top we can give our form a name, and I'm just going to call mine Main Form. And then once we've given it a name, we can choose Simple Contact Form here at the bottom. This is then going to open up the main form editor, and here we can click on each of the different sections to change the information if we need to. So if we click on the name section, for example, we can change the label if we like. And then using this drop-down list, we can change it so the form only asks for the user's first name instead of first and last. Then if we click on the button at the bottom, we can change the button text as well in the box labeled Submit Button Text. Then once we're happy with our form, we just need to click Save in the top right, and then click Embed. Now we're going to highlight, right-click and copy this line of text, which is known as the form's shortcode, and this is what we'll use to add the form to our pages. So once we've got our shortcode copied, we can close out of this, and then click the X in the top right. Now we just need to visit our site by clicking our site title at the top, and then we can visit the page we're wanting to add our form to. So for me, this is my contact page. Then once we get here, we can click Edit at the top to open up the editor. And now we just need to paste our shortcode wherever on the page we're wanting our form to appear. And for me, that's right at the bottom. Then once we've pasted in our shortcode, we can update our page here on the right. And now when we visit the page, we'll see that our contact form is now live on our site. And just to show that it works, if I fill out my name, my email address, a quick message, and click send, if I open up my email inbox, we'll see that I've received the form entry as an email. And that's us now at the end of this tutorial, which means the only thing left to do is congratulate yourself because you just finished building your very own professional website with WordPress. So we have our logo and our header image at the top if we added them, and we're using whatever custom colors we chose. Then we have our menu with our different pages, like our About page, and our contact page. Then we also have our contact form so our visitors can send us a message. And our sidebar is looking awesome with our image, any text we added, and our list of recent posts. Then we also have our blog page as well with our different blog posts. And without us needing to do anything extra, our website's also 100% mobile friendly. So if we just resize the window in our internet browser, we'll see that all of our content resizes and moves around so it looks the best it possibly can. So I really hope that you love your new website and that you found this video helpful. If you did, please give it a like here on YouTube to show your support. And consider subscribing to the channel for more WordPress tutorials like this one in future. If you have any questions about any part of the process, just leave them as a comment below and I'll try my best to help you. Then finally, there should be a link to a playlist on screen now that includes some of my best videos. These will show you a bunch of other cool things we can do with our WordPress website. Once again, my name's Marty from 𝗏𝑠buildwp.com, and thank you very much for watching my video.